In this tutorial, I will quickly show you how you can import and use one of the assets from my Boost page. You will get a zip file that you can download on the page. Make sure you always come back to the page to see if there's a newer version of it, or simply follow me on Twitter to see when I update an asset. So you get a zip file, you just extract it, and what you then get is a README file. This README file has a description, what the asset does, what you need to have in your scene. It also has a documentation of what each input field does, and it also has a short tutorial how you need to update your SDK or UdonSharp, how you should do it. Yeah, if you don't follow those steps, you might have an issue updating your SDK. What you need is to have SDK 3 in your Unity project. This is a version of your world. SDK 2 does not work, so you need SDK 3 for worlds. And you should have a scene that's just an empty example scene now. It looks somewhat like that. And if you don't have UdonSharp compiler installed yet, then just go on the UdonSharp page, scroll down, and there's here under setup, there's the release link. You click on that. Then we download this package. And then what we do is we drag it into the Unity assets file. Just click on import, and then we wait. This can take a while to import, and it also needs to compile some scripts. So we just wait until everything is finished. All right, then we click on the console, and we see there's some errors here. That's not good. Close Unity first. Then we go into the assets folder. We select UdonSharp, VRChat examples, VRChat SDK 3. So let me just quickly delete those. Now also let me delete the corresponding meter files. That is very important. Let me restart Unity. Alright, I will just download the newest SDK. Well, the issue we had is that our SDK is not compatible. It wasn't the newest one. Let me just import the newest one now. Alright, and then we drag and drop the Unity UdonSharp package in here and import it. And now we have the newest SDK 3 and the newest UdonSharp, and that together should work and not give any errors. Alright, as you can see in the console, there's no error, so that works well. What we need to do now is we need to import the package that we've downloaded. Depending if you have the assembly version or the script version, you have a different package. So I will take the script version for now, drag it in here, and as you can see, this is what we will import. Import this. Okay, first take a look at the console. No errors, that's good. Now, in your assets, you should find a folder with the name of the asset that you bought. In this case, it's VR keyboard assets. And there you can find all the files that came together with it, and you also find a scene file. This is the example asset. Now, what you do is you drag and drop this under your own world scene. So let's open our world first. What I use is the example scene. Let's go back here and drag and drop the example scene over here. Now you see in there, there's always like a world folder. This is just ignored. This is just an example setup for testing. And then you find the asset that you've bought. And you just drag and drop it into your world. You right click and you remove the scene and you click on Don't Save. And that's it. Now you have the asset that you bought in your world. Should just function. Usually I have it also split. If you have multiple assets, in this case you can just drag and drop that somewhere else. And there you have the keyboard that you can just drag and drop somewhere. And it also has a script. And in that case, if you look at the documentation, it's explained what each field does. And if you bought the script version, you can just hover over it and it will give you an explanation. So there you can change the setting that you want. For example, this here. And they usually also come with an API of some form. So this, for example, is a Udon behavior, your own Udon behavior in this case, that you can use to receive an enter event when you click enter on the keyboard. Now regarding the keyboard, there was a user that asked me like, where's the chat system? Now I'm not selling any chat system, but if you still want a chat system, you can use the one that I'm using. So yeah, this is not my chat system, it's on someone else, but I can send you this for free. Just it is a slightly changed version that works well together with the keyboard. So you can just import this here as well. And then you find another scene that I can also drag in here. And there's the chat system and the keyboard system. So let me just delete this keyboard here because they reference each other. So if I have multiple items, I want to drag them in together. And this is also removed, and don't save. And now what I have is I have a chat system and a keyboard system, and it's ready to use. It will just work when you upload it like this, assuming you don't have any errors in the console. And yeah, so now if I go in the script, you see there's already a script here referenced. This is a chat input, and this event also changed. So this is an event that's now called in here. That's just for every asset that I sell, it's like that, you drag and drop it in here. So just also drag and drop the player pick in here and import it. Again, I have the folder which contains the asset. I drag it in here. I drag this into my world somewhere. Doesn't matter in this case. I move the scene. I don't save. And now it's in your world. That's it. It already works. It has all the settings that it needs. You can just upload the world. That's it. Just keep everything as it is if you don't want to change anything. And in that case, if you have it somewhere in your scene, doesn't matter where it is, you can use it. And this is a small example button. You can replace it with your own button, or just don't have a button at all, whatever you prefer. Now for the pickup version, I just drag and drop it in here. I import it. You probably don't want to have the serialized assets. Just untick that. You see it compiles itself, so you have your own serialized assets after that. And now we have the pickup tracker. Drag and drop it in here. We drag those over to your own scene. Remove, don't save, and that's it. Now you have your pickup tracker, which again just needs to be somewhere in the world, doesn't matter where it is. You have a few examples pickups, a few that are kinematic, and a few that behave physical. And if you want your own pickup, let me just create a new pickup. So 3D object, cube. So this is my own pickup now. This can be anything really. Now, just a quick note for the physical pickups, they need to have a mesh collider. So have a mesh collider, and there needs to be a mesh assigned. That is very important. So let's remove that one and just have the mesh collider. And then I go to my example pickups, which again, kinematic or physical, whatever you prefer. I click on one of those examples and you see the required setup. So each pickup needs to have the VRC pickup script and needs to have that behavior. So let's first go to our example. Let's add VRC pickup. Okay, instead of doing that, you can also simply go to the example pickup and just right click, copy component, and then on your own pickup, right click somewhere and paste component as new. And then you have the pickup with the settings from the example pickup. So that's probably the best way you can do it. The same for the rigid body. You see it spawned automatically, but you'd want the specific settings from the example pickup. So I can just copy component and then I can go to my pickup and right click on the rigid body and paste component values, and it will have the settings from the example. Now the last thing that I need is the Udon behavior itself. I right click, copy component, go to my own pickup, right click, paste component as new. And there we have it. And it already has a reference to the pickup tracker in the scene. That is very important, else will not work. And all the settings are from the example pickup, so you can just keep it like that. And that's how we have our own pickup. Oh, we see some errors. Okay. The errors are that we haven't set up the scene yet. This shouldn't happen in your case, but yeah, because was the first time for me here. Yeah, just set it up. Set that up, and that should work. Okay, and if I clear the console, no errors. That's good. Now, as a last step, I have a bunch of messages inside the scripts. Usually that help you to figure out if there are any errors. What you can do is you can just click on play here. I will just build a scene and then it will play it. Okay, so this error is not from my scripts, it's from the chat system, that is from the helpful helper. And you see that this is not a catch exception, it's just because we played an editor. It cannot find the VRC player API, which is not a real error, just that we played an editor. This is a real error. This comes from one of my scripts, and it's complaining that there is no mesh collider attached to the script here. It's actually an oversight from me from my example scene that we don't have a mesh collider, but it's a good example actually. So what you need to do is you need to stop this, remove this here, and add a mesh collider. And that's it. I will just quickly copy this component and do it for all of them. Remove this, paste this new. Okay, and now let's just play the scene again. This is still complaining. Alright, that's clearly on me. I don't think anyone ever uses those fancy example pickups because nobody reported that to me, and that's a beta feature actually, but yeah, if you put this on your own object, it works. I did this with someone else together. If you use example cubes, apparently it doesn't like that because this is not a real asset, but yeah, let me just quickly put in my own mesh here. So I just mark those and then I drag and drop my own mesh. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's actually the mesh. Let me just drop that in here. And now it should just work without an error. Okay, as you see, that fixed it. So make sure to have your have a mesh collider assigned for the physical ones and your own mesh, not the example cube. That doesn't work. And then it just works. Alright, I hope you found this helpful. If not, in the README file, there are various contact options. You can just contact me, and I'm happy to help you to fix any errors you maybe stumble upon. But as you see, it's literally just drag and drop it in. And as long as you have the newest SDK and UdonSharp installed, which again is only for the script version, for the assembly version you don't need UdonSharp, then it should just work. Alright.